Yo, it's only the first week of the Major League Baseball season, and we are already seeing things that have not occurred in 40 in some 40 odd years. And let me just say this right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that um when you talk about these things, it is just what it is. Willie Epting Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show, Big Game Christian Sports Network, live, loud, and in color, baby. Thank you once again for checking your boy out, man, on all platforms that is social media. Big Day, the dopest engineer in the game. What is going on? Baseball fans all over the planet. Got the sissy of baseball, the hashtag sissy of baseball coming in here in the second and third segment. But look, I need to get to some things that we haven't seen in quite some time. And we're gonna really put history with the present. Before we move any further, this first episode, it is being brought to you by Front End Sports. Founded in 2022, Front End Sports is dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, and organizations with cutting edge social media, merchandising, and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Our team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports, marketing, design, and technology, all who share a passion for helping our clients succeed and unlock their full potential. Make sure you guys go to frontendsports.com. Again, that is frontendsports.com. Okay, I really don't know where to begin, but I will start here because I titled it, There Are Beasts in the East. And let's just start with the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have gone to Houston, Texas, and they have swept the Astros. They went out to Phoenix against the defending National League champion Arizona Diamondbacks. And in game 3 of the rubber match of this series with the Diamondbacks, it went to extra innings. Aaron Judge did what Aaron Judge does. Yes, Anthony Volpe had some critical errors there. All those things happen. But the Yankees come out of their 7-game road trip to begin the season at 6-1. Raise your hand if you thought that was going to take place. My hand is not up. So Juan Soto has already put a mark on this team in terms of the impact that he is going to make. And of course, everything is always prefaced by, should they remain healthy? I don't even like doing that, but we're going to do it, I guess, until we don't do it anymore. But the Yankees, man, behind, and look, Aaron Judge just homered for the first time in game 3 against those Diamondbacks. He hit a line shot for a double in the gap that actually gave the Yankees a lead there. I think it was in the top of the 10th. And the Yankees are sitting atop the AL East along with the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox went out to Seattle, and we know how great Seattle was predicted to be. We know that the Red Sox have tremendous question marks with their pitching staff, particularly their starting rotation. They go to Seattle and they get a split. And they very easily could have won 3 or 4. But then you travel down south to California and to the Bay Area. And I actually watched the entire game on Wednesday. It was an afternoon game out there in the Bay. And I'll give it up to my Oakland A's. The Oakland A's did as best as they could. And Nick Pivetta, the hurler for the Boston Red Sox, had a great game. Stripling for the A's had a great game. We just couldn't get any runs across the board. We couldn't get that timely hit. So in the nightcap of a 3-game set in the Bay, the Red Sox blanked the A's 1-0. And here's look, obviously the A's are a lame duck squad. We hear about lame duck coaches and lame duck general managers and all the rest. But we've never really talked about an entire franchise that is that's in a lame duck situation. That is exactly what the A's are. And here's the thing with the A's. What I noticed on Wednesday's game is that the A's will play hard. They are going to play hard for Mark Kotsay, even though there were only 19 and 2/3 fans in the seats all series. I mean, that's a combined total. I'm just joking. But look, when you can really buy a ticket, and this is how it used to be for the Rangers a while back. When you can buy a ticket that costs $5 and then wind up sitting next to the manager in the dugout because the team is so bad, that's what the A's are. And they played hard. They play hard. But here's the thing with the A's. We're going to go from the sublime to the ridiculous real quick before we actually go back to the sublime. The Oakland A's have been shut out 3 games of this early part of the year. They've only played 7. The A's are 1-6 in those games. 3 shutouts and 8 committed errors over that span. 1 win. 1. You have more errors than wins. That is not a good recipe for anything. I mean, it might be a good recipe for some burnt up chicken or some burnt up some burnt up tacos or whatever your food of choice is. But I will give it up to the A's. And look, the Red Sox, they got something with this kid Duran. They have got something with this kid Duran. This dude had 4 hits in the 3rd game of the series. He had a tremendous play in which he robbed, I believe it was, I can't remember who it was for the A's, but he robbed him of a potential home run, definitely an extra base hit with his glove. Now, Pivetta, he might be the guy for the Red Sox. Stripling for the A's, look, you can't pitch any better than you did in game 3. So the sublime is, of course, the Yankees. And I have been texting with the sissies of baseball, of course, Chris, Mel, and Liz. And I actually need to put Leslie on that thread as well. But I was texting with them earlier because, of course, they're Red Sox fans, and I'm going to be a guest on the Sox Addict podcast this Sunday. I'm very excited about that, although they have already kind of roasted me in terms of what happened in this 3-game set. But it's all good. It's all good. It's nothing but love. That's what siblings do. They fight and they brag and they do all these things to get the other siblings upset. But from the sublime to the ridiculous, back to the sublime. And I just may spend the rest of the segment here because these cats deserve a lot of love. And I am talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates have done things that we have not seen done in some 40-odd years. And I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. Now, I understand that the Pirates have really, they were embroiled in a series with the Nationals, which they've taken the first couple of games of that series. The final game of the set as of tape time is going on. And I was watching that as well. And it looked like they were going to go out and get their 6th consecutive victory. But then the Washington Nationals, who really don't have anybody on their team that I know about other than Joey Gallo, he homered, but he'll probably strike out his next 7 times at bat. But the Pirates, man, let's talk about the Pirates. The Pirates, they might be for real, Jack. They just might be for real because we already know about Reynolds. We already know what he can do. And to be honest, they've got some bullpen arms in there with Bettner, and of course, Aroldis Chapman is there to hold it down in terms of maybe setting up and maybe able to get an occasional save here and there. But yo, man, this team is loaded. They are really, really loaded. So you talk about that shortstop, O'Neal Cruz. He's a budding superstar, a 6'7" shortstop that can really do it all. Brian Reynolds in left field. We knew he extended with the Pirates a couple of years ago. They've got an old wily vet out there in Andrew McCutchen, who is an MVP, a former MVP for these Pirates. They've got Michael A. Taylor in center field who can ball. And the thing is, Brian Reynolds plays right field. But the thing is, look, the Central with the Brewers and the Cubs. And the Cubs is who I picked to win that division. But the Brewers and Christian Yelich seem to be on an uptick as well, because they kind of handled the Twins in the series in Milwaukee throughout the week. But let's get to these Pirates, because they started off 5-0, looking to go 6-0 as of tape time and going into the final game of that set. And the last time, ladies and gentlemen, the last time the Pirates started out 5-0, these are the things that happened back in time during that time. Okay, a gallon of gas, average gallon of gas across the United States, $1.35 per gallon. The top movie in 1983 was Flashdance. That, of course, was with Debbie Allen. Irene Cara had the hit from the soundtrack that's still being played in car audio stereo competitions to this day. The top song of 1983, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson. A gallon of milk in 1983, the first week of 1983, $1.17. And then finally, a carton of eggs. Now, we've seen eggs, especially during the pandemic, during this particular time. We've seen eggs at a carton or a gallon of eggs. I'm sorry, a dozen of eggs. Yeah, a gallon of eggs. That'd be cool. A dozen eggs was like $5, $6 back when the Pirates last started 5-0 in a major league season. A dozen of eggs was 89 cents. So, needless to say, that in the Berg, they are going wild over their buccos, and rightly so. This feels different. The Pirates started out very well last year. As a matter of fact, they were in the top 10 in the power rankings there for the first probably 3 or 4 weeks of the year. And then they ended up showing us who we thought they were. And they fell back and they fell down. However, I'm telling you, man, this team feels different. And it reminds me of the old We Are Family squads from the late 1970s and into the 1980s. Let's name off some of those historical players. And oh, by the way, I'm going to name one, and this dude definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is, but he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's the Cobra, Dave Parker. Dave Parker, right fielder, could beat you always. And he was 6'6" and 250 pounds. And can beat you with his bat. He can beat you with his arm. He had one of the strongest arms in left or in right field that I've ever seen. Dave Parker, Willie Stargell. I got a Stargell jersey, by the way, throwback. Bill Matlock with the one of the coolest batting stances I've ever seen. They also had Kent Tecovey, the sidewinder. And I heard something, I think it was on MLB TV earlier on Wednesday, how they were talking about this same thing and how Kent Tecovey looked like between innings, he would be smoking a Paul Wall, or Paul Mall, rather, not Paul Wall. Paul Wall's a rapper. I got the internet going nuts. Paul Mall, that's what he looked like. And they had Tim Foley at shortstop. They had Omar Moreno in center field. That team loved to party. And hopefully for Pirates fans all over the globe, and I don't know how many of there are. I don't know if there are any at all outside of Western Pennsylvania. But I think you guys have a reason to be excited. And just like we mentioned with the Red Sox and the Yankees, and even for the Detroit Tigers for that matter, because as of tape time, they're undefeated. And to be honest, some people actually think that the Tigers are going to do something in that division. They've got one of the best pitchers in the American League who's going to be in the running for the Cy Young Award, so they say. But so it's refreshing to see these teams, and this is baseball. Baseball will do this to any so-called expert that's out there. It will come from left field, literally, with a team or a player or manager or whatever that you do not think that is going to be in the mix, but will absolutely be in the mix. And it is shaping up to be a tremendous season, especially for all those teams that I mentioned. The Pirates, look, if they can keep this up, the NL Central is going to be a bloodbath, much like the NL West. And shout out to the Dodgers and Mookie Betts, who leads all players with 6 home runs already as of tape time. He could be the MVP that I said I wasn't going to vote for. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for the first segment. Come on back on the other side. We got the hashtag Sissy of Baseball, Leslie in. Red Sox talk and a whole lot more. Willie Epting Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show. Y'all come back and holler at us.